And welcome back to the OS World Cup 2025 here in the finals weekend. We are once again returning to the losers bracket for a match here at Saturday 11 UTC. We've got Seed 5 Germany coming up against Seed 3 Australia in a bounce back match for Australia after being swept by the United States last week. Looking for a bounce back here. I'm Miles, and joining me in the booth here is Mr. Lighton. What do you think of this matchup?
Oh, I'm looking forward to this match. Seed number 3 and seed number 5, potentially, when you look at the top 3 for this tournament, you have such teams like Australia, Poland, and United States, but Germany is still a really tough nut to crack. A really good team, and potentially could basically take a few maps off of Australia, maybe more than a few maps. Basically, they can also, there is a world where Germany can take this match, but this is going to be extremely difficult for them. But nonetheless, I feel like this is a match to see. Really excited to cast this one. Germany, on the other hand, as you've said, Australia, they did come up off the sweep last week from the United States. Germany were a little more confident, taking 6-2 against Chile, and then winning 6-4 against New Zealand. New Zealand's Cinderella story sadly got finished off by this German squad, but nonetheless, they are looking hungry for more.
Yeah, and Germany, it feels like they've been stuck in this tier for a few years now since they had that string of top 2 finishes, kind of being relegated to this like top 6 to top 4 finish year after year. And taking a scalp like Australia here would really be big for them. They get a rematch against Canada tomorrow in a better round for them, who had a really insane match earlier against the South Korea team that I think a lot of people anticipated would do a little bit better on this map pool. But that's one other thing to say about this map pool. It's hard as hell compared to last week. A lot harder, 7.8 stars, and a lot of maps overshooting the difficulty according to some of the players in feedback. So it's going to be really chaotic here. This is the first real taste of true late stage for all of these teams. So we're going to see a lot more players on these rosters getting skill capped. And I'm sure that's going to be much more of a worry for Germany. Obviously, with their super player Kriller, not going to be an issue, but the rest of them, especially on their mechanics roster, going up against a high-powered mechanics roster like the one on Australia, I think is going to be a concern for them today. And we can already see that banning out the double time 3, as well as the hidden 2, though, which surprises me.
Yeah, I mean, hidden 2 does make sense, potentially, because I don't think Germany is really that comfortable with low AR hidden. On the other hand, DT3, given how good Australia is on mechanics, obviously, both of these teams are heavily leaning towards the mechanics, but Australia, on paper, should be still a better team on that skill set, which does warrant that DT3 ban from Germany. Hidden 2 makes more sense given the hidden comfort, but nonetheless, the map pool, as you said, is really difficult, and given the skill cap, I think Hidden 2 might have been a ban due to a lot of the German players who were supposed to play the skill set getting skill caps on this map, because this map is really difficult. I think it was featured in Core Stage 2021, and it's still being used today relatively often, so therefore, that is... I quite like those bans coming in from Germany. The Nomad 1 ban from Australia, though, was a little more surprising to me personally.
Yeah, Nomad 1 ban from Australia. I mean, if you look at the skill sets from last week, the one that Germany performed the best on, I think, throughout semifinals was AIM. They got, I think, the number 1 and number 3 score on Hard Rock 1 last week, and also, I think, the number 2 score on DT1 from last week, which was much more of an AIM map than this one. So, very confident on AIM, and I think it makes sense for Australia to ban out the Nomad 1, one of Germany's arguably strongest skill sets, and gonna go for the Hard Rock 2 ban otherwise. Now, this one doesn't seem too targeted to me. Maybe just a map that they aren't very comfortable on.
Perhaps, sadly, an OSU original will be going away, but Hidden 1 is getting picked almost immediately afterwards, still leaning towards that aim, and this is going to be a custom map from App and Elaine. A lot of geometrical patterns in here, switching from squares to pentagons to triangles. It just has every single geometrical pattern added up with a 240 BPM jumps and just crazy spacing, which makes this map an absolute demon. And I think this is a pretty good pick for Australia. What do you think, Miles?
First off, they did the hilarious thing where they ban an AIM map and then pick another AIM map, and that just shows, like, I guess the difference in how these AIM maps are constructed. The Nomad one, a lot more comfortable. This one, a lot more difficult, in my opinion, at least with these map stats. 240 BPM, very fast. the aim patterns are a lot more awkward as well. And that's something that I think plays more into the strengths of Australia's players and less into that of Germany's. So I do agree. I think this is going to be a pretty good pick for Australia. I watched Emrek stream, and I think he FC'd this one on Sight Read or got very close to it. So
yep, the factor of Emrek is going to play a really big role in this matchup. The best player in the world as it is will be the main player to look at for the Australian roster. Obviously, you have such players like Secret Box and Kriller who are also really good, Kriller being on the German side, but nonetheless, all eyes are going to be on him once again. And the pressure as well is going to be there too, because Australia, after that stinging loss from the United States last week, I feel like Australia, they might be even more angry than they were before.
yeah, I mean, it's tough to predict how teams are after a bad loss. I mean, like, you had teams like UK, who I think they had a good pool for them after their loss, but they just flamed out on that one as well. So really going to be looking at Australia here to see if they're looking to bounce back after the loss last week, as brutal as it was. But I think this matchup is going to look pretty good for them. And this is their first pick, about to get underway with this finals matchup, Australia versus Germany. Here we go.
Here we go. First map, Kitsune no Yomeiri. This is going to be a 4-minute long map, 240 BPM jumps. Once again, a lot of geometrical patterns, map by Align and App. A really good map by itself, but also really difficult. A lot of potential for a lot of misses coming in from basically nothing, from almost every single pattern, and holding combo on this is going to be incredibly difficult. As you said, Emrek is going to be the player to look at here, but so far, so good for this team. An early miss from Prowler does shift the equilibrium towards the right, though, as the Secret Box also finds a miss, and the early parts of the map show off the comfort level here for a few of these players. Secret Box unable to find the combos so far, but nonetheless, 4 FCs on the side of Germany, and Australia still on a single FC, though, as AkinZX finds a miss. Not the great start from Australia, but the map has just started.
Be looking to see if any of these players can repeat the heroics that Zudinator had on this map earlier, but none of those players are going to be on the side of Australia, as Emrek does find the drop, and Germany, would you look at that, still holding on to the 4-way FC. The hidden on this not affecting any of these players. Still holding on to the 4-way, and they're going to accumulate a score lead very quickly, as Yari does find the first miss, though, and Kriller as well. So the combos on Australia are going to start to equalize this lead here.
Still a double miss from Australian side. Polar and AkinZX find their misses. It's just the Secret Box and Emrek, but still 2 FCs gone from Germany. Timcactor and Denzel Curry missed an exact same note, and with that, Australia might have the combo advantage, but the Secret Box and Emrek still holding the recoveries on their side. I was just about to mention Timcactor and Denzel Curry, but apparently it doesn't go that way. Australia continue to hold on to the combos. The switch from the score lead goes towards the left. Timcactor misses once again with Kriller, but still a Secret Box, the one who missed earlier, the one who struggled on the intro, slowly coming in back to the flow of this map, finds a miss sadly as well, but it's Emrek who still holds on to the combo.
Yeah, an absolute slogfest so far on this one. It feels like neither team are really finding their footing very well so far on this one, apart from Germany in the first quarter. But now at the halfway point, barely any combos as Yari goes down, and it's Emrek to hold on to the combo with Akins backing him up. About 1,000 plus combined combo between them, and that lead is shooting in their favor, just about to reach 100k, and it's looking very good for them on this first pick, Lighten.
Exactly, Emrek and AkinZX, those combos are doing God's work right now, making sure that Australia run away with that score difference, and still no combos from the German side to contest. AkinZX finds the miss though, the recovery gone, but all the misses are coming in from German side as well, no combo whatsoever. Emrek does find a miss, but it will not matter because nobody held the combo in Germany. Kriller, that was a Banshee miss, I think, still holds on to some semblance of the combo, but nonetheless, the damage has been done. Still a third of the map left, 180,000. Does switch towards the right slowly but surely, but Germany, they need more misses coming in from Australia to try and come back into this.
They need the combos on their own side to really hold on, but they're getting into the hardest section of the map here, the ending. Brutally difficult, and I think they needed to have their combos about a minute ago if they wanted to have a chance to run at this lead. As consistent as it is at 185k, even with the combos, it's going to be really tough. The break does come in from Akins, though. The Paler and Secret Box should be able to run this one into the ending, even though Kriller, Timcactor, and Yari are all holding on to the combo. We're about to get into that ending.
Yep, the hardest part awaiting us right now. Still, Puddle and Secret Box holding on to the combos. Kriller, the highest combo in the lobby, unable to do anything, and to try and make his team come back from this. Akins finds a miss, but it will not matter. The final jumps are coming, and the question is, who will be the one to hit them? Who will be the hero here? Yari and Tim Gutner, they find the misses. Puddle and Secret Box as well, falling as well. Kriller also sadly unable to hold the combo, but Emrak and Dundalkari will be the ones to survive this ending. But ultimately, the ending will not matter as Australia take a confident first pick to their name.
And one where it was really a team gap for Australia. Even though Emrek and Secret Box did get the top scores, Paler and Akins weren't very far behind, sorry, and that's I think a very good sign for Australia going into this match. They want their backing players to not be as skill capped. They want everyone to be comfortable on a map that they pick, and I think this is a really good look for Australia going forward.
Exactly. All the 4 players from the Australian roster doing really, really good on this map. Kriller also doing really well on the side of Germany, but the supporting combo from the Australians ultimately what was decided the outcome of this map by itself. But that being said, it's going to be Germany's turn to pick, and looking at the map pool, you might wonder what Germany will go for. Obviously, as a mechanics team, they might want to go for mechanics, but when you consider the skill sets of Australia, going for something like DT2 or DT1 is going to be extremely scary, and now you have to think.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really tough decision, I think, for Germany coming into this match, because you've been the mechanics team that's been your pick identity for literally as long as time, always a team to want to pick DTs, but when you're up against a team like Australia that's just made that their identity now as the best DT team, you can't pick like the DT2 or the DT1 like you would against any other team. So that's where I thought they would come and pick aim in this matchup, and they're going to do just that, picking this Fremont 4 Sparkle Dancer, the Xarius map. It's not a similar type of aim to the Hidden One. It's still, I think, an alt-style map in terms of BPM. You're going to be alternating this at 141, but it's a lot more, I think, linear than the Hidden One's aim patterns.
Oh, this is a lot more linear as well. I can agree with that. Basically, if you look at this map, I think the only slider sheet that this map has is straight sliders. So it's going to be a lot more linear, a lot more movement focused as well. Really interesting movement patterns here scattered throughout the entire map, and a map made by Xarius. Always glad to see a veteran coming back and also contributing to the mapping factor in here. 3 minutes and 26 seconds long, so the consistency element is also going to be there too. But nonetheless, this is going to be still quite different from that Hidden One, as you said. The BPM obviously being higher, but also the mapping style, which goes more towards that movement focus instead of the pattern focus. So this is going to be a map that potentially favors someone like Kriller from the German side. If you look at this map, it just screams Kriller, so I think this is going to be the player to look out the most for this map. But for Australia, you look once again at those individuals like Emrek and a Secret Box, and this is going to be ultimately the deciding factor of this map, I think.
Dude, I'm just so giddy that we have an Xarius map for this tournament. We were able to get him to make a custom at long last. That guy, at his heyday, a 2-time OWC winner himself, 2015 and 2016. Kind of made himself known as a mapper since then.
Yep, they have been mapping quite a bit, and the maps that they have been making recently are just really, really good, and this map is also a good example of this. The improvement from this for Xarius as a mapper has been really nice to look at. It was always a pleasure to spectate his improvement as a mapper, but nonetheless, the rosters are locked in, and the players will slowly be joining into their lobbies. Clapit, Secret Box, Polar, and Emrek on the side of Australia, Flay, Yari, Tim Kuckner, and Kriller on the side of Germany. And with that, we are going to be starting off with this Fremont 4. And the question is, what will the modifications look like? I see Clapit and Polar with Hard Rock and Hidden, and Tim Kackner as well as Yari on that Hard Rock and Hidden as well. So the mods are looking quite good here. The potential for those players like Emrek, Secret Box, and Killer to pop off on this.
Yeah, I think definitely one of the nicer maps in the pool when it comes to mod combinations. I think, unlike some other maps in this free mod pool, it's like everyone's expected to be comfortable on their mods on this map. You're not punting away your Hard Rock players just because the map's harder on HR. And Tim Kakner and Kloppet being up to the task on the Hard Rock, I think they're both going to be able to get good scores, as we see Emmerich and Box, of course, on the Nomad. Two most consistent players. You want them to try and lock out those FCs on the Nomad. Meanwhile, Kriller and Fle on the side of Germany taking the Nomad as well. Same logic I see there, as we see only Box to find the first break going into the first KI section, but Kloppet and Tim Kakner, two Hard Rocks, going to trade right on going into it.
Still really close. The Emmerich, though, finds a miss as well. This one is going to sting significantly. Germany continues to hold on to the combos. Tim Kakner does find a miss, though. Yari as well. The hidden is now down. It's just Pollard to hold on for Australia, and Kriller would play to try and stop him so far. But the difference is basically nothing, despite the combo advantage that Germany has so far. But Kriller and Paro will be the ones to battle it out. Pollard with insane accuracy, 99.5%. Tim Kakner finds a miss. Kloppet as well. The Hard Rocks both trading at exact same places so far, but playing Kriller doing so much work for their team right now. Pollard also missed earlier, and with that, Kriller and Flay will be running away as we speak.
Yeah, Emmerich continuing to find misses. Not the player I think anyone would expect to be the one to find these misses on this map on Nomad so far. But that's going to be a good omen for Germany now. Fle and Kriller, the two Nomads, still looking ever so strong. They've taken the lead very quickly, very fast, up almost at 100k now as we get on into the second chorus section.
Nomad players for Germany are doing so much here. Kloppet finds another miss still. Playing Kriller with those combos. Kriller still with the FC. It's Krilling time, baby, because he is hungry for more. Yari finds a miss, but it doesn't ultimately matter as long as Kriller and Play continue to hold on. A Secret Box also with a recovery. Play does find a miss, but it's still Kriller to hold. What is this man doing? Play another miss. Secret Box to try and contest this beast of a player on Kriller's side, but he continues to hold to the combo. 1300 combo and growing the difference. 200,000. We were talking about Kriller, this map being potentially Kriller map, and he's delivering exactly that. Still, the combos are holding, and he is doing so much work here. The score difference barely shifting, and it's all holding on Kriller so far. The bridge section still there. The recoveries on Australia's side slowly dropping one by one. Pollard finds a miss. Kloppet as well, but Kriller, what is this man doing? A Secret box so close to that combo, but Kriller, just look at him go. The final KI here on the board, and a Secret Box to try and contest. It might go still towards Australia's way, but you gotta hope for Kriller to miss if you're rooting for Australia. But Kriller, he doesn't know the concept of a miss, especially as a Secret Box finds the miss himself. What is this man doing? Kriller, can somebody stop him at this point already? 99% accuracy as well, as a cherry on top, and Kriller, just a hero off this map. Finally, someone calms him down. But this is such a great performance from Kriller. What a score from Kriller. And with that, he gives his team a point on this Fremont 4.
The German Titan coming when his team needs him most to put themselves on the board, get their first pick going. The S rank, just the slider break at the end. And now pick back to Australia, insta-picking the Nomad 5. They were ready for this. Header, the KT Gister map, AR 7.7. Yeah, what a score from Kriller on that last map. Not quite matching Zudi's hidden FC from the previous match, but still nonetheless a very impressive score from him.
Exactly, that was such a good score. But this Nomad 5 pick from Australia is also relatively good. Basically, that hidden 2-ban coming in from Germany earlier is the main idea here, because obviously you have that low AR factor. This one being even lower AR in comparison, and also adding on top of that a little bit of the aim control element here. CS5, AR 7.7, and obviously KT Gister map. A lot of interesting patterns when it comes to the aim control itself. So probably a pretty good pick. I can see Germany still being relatively competitive on this, but on paper, this is really good for Australia.
I'm really not sure what I'm gonna make of this pick, to be honest, because neither of these teams really strike me as the teams that will want to pick Gimmick early going forward against any other team in the tournament. Like, these are the two most mechanically optimized teams here, picking AR 7.7, 2 minutes of KT Gister aim control hell. Like, this we might see some low scores on this one, Lighten. in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Both of these teams, they basically try to avoid these as much as possible, and it kind of makes sense. Their teams are really reliant on those mechanics, but what are you supposed to do when two mechanics teams are facing off against each other? And I think Australia are going towards the direction of going into Gimmick and Low AR, and on paper, this should still be good, but yes, I do agree with you. I think the scores will probably not be as high as you would want them to be.
But they do have the strong players coming in. Of course, Emrek and Box in the lobby to join Paler and Xaver. Is their Gimmick roster. Germany, Aimbot Cone, Yari, Kriller, and Denzel Curry on this one. I think once again, the player to look at on this map to potentially make a huge difference is Kriller. He looked really good on the last map, and Gimmick, I think he is on paper the strongest Gimmick specialist in this lobby besides Emrek, depending on the map. But we're going to have to see how this one goes. It's 2 minutes. Very difficult aim control. Easy to find a chain miss. Can't lose focus for a second as we see Xaver drop the first break on the first pattern.
Not that big of a miss nonetheless, though. The map is relatively short, though, 2 minutes and 2 seconds long, so this will still sting a Secret Box. Emrek and Xaver already finding their misses, not looking really comfortable here in the intro. A lot of misses are coming in from the side of Australia. Aimbot Cone to find the miss on the German side, but still, the 3 FCs are holding is just Polar on the side of Australia. Germany already has such a comfortable lead, and due to the length of this map, every single miss will matter significantly. Yari and Kriller, though, find their own significant misses, and with that, it's just 1 FC versus 1. Polar and Denzel Curry with those FCs, but the recovery on the Australian side is a lot better.
Yeah, Paler looking really good out of the start here, holding on to 99%. Forgot to mention he is a critical part of their reading roster. But they are going to drop some breaks on Xaver and Secret Box, and now the lead is really close. Denzel Curry, the one holding up the fort for Germany with Yari and Kriller on the supporting combos, but any break's going to send it back, and there goes Denzel Curry. That's the FC down, and Australia is going to take it back very quickly, but Emrek does drop as well. So now it's Paler all on his own. He's holding the lead in his hand, but he drops it as well. But I think he's done the work, actually, Light, and he brought the lead back 80k, but there's no combos to contest on Germany. So Paler bringing up the lead.
Polar has done enough, and exactly that, Miles. Still, the combo advantage is on Australian side with the Secret Box recovery. 300 combo recovery. It might not seem that much, but given the factor of this map, this is basically a lifeline here. Xaver Polar finds their significant misses. Aimbot Cone as well, but the Secret Box to hold on. So far, so good from him. Emrek also on the recovery, helping out his teammates significantly to his best ability, but nonetheless, Yari is the one to hold the combo on the German side, but it ultimately will not matter as the map finishes off right here, right now, and Australia take their second point on the board.
Yeah, looked a little bit close there for a minute, but Australia having a significantly better time in the middle section of the map, and Paler especially holding that FC for the first half did a lot of work for them, and then Emrek and Box just taking over at the end. Get that 540k, 530k from them. And it's a successful second pick. It's always interesting to me in these types of matchups where you have two, like, mechanically leaning teams. Who's going to be the one to pick the Gimmick? And both of these teams seemed ready. Germany not doing too shabby on this one either. Getting all A ranks. Just a little bit lower average team score for them. Going to be enough for Australia to take this one. But now the pick is back in Germany's ballpark. We're going to see where they go next. They still do have a lot of aim in this map pool. They still do have stream maps as well. A team that really likes picking the Nomad 2 style maps, like Freemod 1. A flow aim stream map is something that they might consider picking. But
yep,
not too much just like traditional aim left, especially if you look at the nature of the HR1 and DT1.
HR1 is such a difficult map as well. I don't think Germany will necessarily go for it. I think the main maps that I'm looking at here is either Hidden Free, because the map is relatively similar to that Fremont 4 being more aim control focused in comparison. And as you've mentioned, that Fremont 1, those stream maps, those stream flow aim, a map by Karcher, also a potential here for Germany. But I think given how well Germany did on Fremont 4, and also giving the fact that Kriller would be on a lot of pressure on Hidden Free, I feel like Fremont 1 is probably a better pick here in comparison. Hidden Free also being good for them, but Fremont 1 is a lot more... Oh, they go Fremont 3 instead. Interesting.
This one's a bit of a wild card to me. I'm really curious to see how they do on this one. It's Sorgus map, Fremod 3, kind of high BPM, hybrid mechanic sort of map where there's a really difficult speed up that happens near the ending of this, where the finger control gets really difficult as well, with also some elements of flow aim as well. It's a map that really tests a lot of different things, and really curious to see it getting picked so early on in a match when a lot of teams are really wanting to pick these more binary skill sets.
I know, right? Because basically this map has a lot of hybrid mechanics into it, and you would imagine this map to be picked like later on into the match as a potential like 6th or like 5th pick for like one of those teams. But this early on is really surprising, and it kind of maybe tells you the idea of what Germany might want to go for. In general, this map does have that of a high BPM, 156 BPM on this map, with some aim and streams scattered throughout. A lot of patterns that are geometrical as well, and all of uncomfortable patterns too. But nonetheless, on paper, I feel like this is still a really point-flipping map for both of these teams. Both Germany and Australia can play this relatively well, but there's probably a reason why Germany picked this.
I generally just really like Germany on Fremod as a team in general. They have a lot of players who are really strong on HR, and they can also kind of abuse their X factor of Kriller, letting him go Nomad, but then also the hidden preference players too. Okinamo entering the lobby. I think one of the stalwarts of this Germany roster, always has been a really reliable hidden player. So I do like Germany on anything Fremod for the most part. And Fled had come in. It's going to be, I think, the same Fremod roster that they had for Fremod 4 previously, as Flat and Kriller, likely both to take Nomad, as Emrek, Box, Kloppet, and Akins to come in for Australia. Kloppet's a player I don't think we've spoken much about yet this match. Has been a really good rookie for them. Performed really well last week, actually. One of their strong performers in that matchup where it didn't seem like much went well for them at all. So see if he could be a bright spot for them on this pick as well.
On paper, I think he should be a really good addition to the Australian roster as well. Has been also quite active in the tournaments that were happening this year. A lot of community tournaments they have played in too. But nonetheless, Fremod 3 is starting off right now. 2 minutes and 41 seconds long. Kloppet on the Hard Rock, Secret Box on the Hidden, Akinamo with Hidden, and Tim Kakner with Hard Rock. This is going to be a Fremod 3 time. The Tower of Nerf. Basically, the artist is also really similar to Sakura UK, so you might think that this is, I think this is like their second artist name, if anything,
yeah,
but nonetheless, yeah, probably, but nonetheless, the map starts off, and by the looks of it so far, not a lot of troubles here for now. The accuracy is holding off relatively good, and the combos are not dropping yet.
And I forgot to mention, this is the map that, in feedback, people have been saying this map is one of the easiest ones in the pool. So one where I think the FCs are going to matter a lot more than on a map like the previous ones we've seen in the match. But we are going to see an early break come out from Flen. That's not going to be too good for Germany. This map is short, 2 minutes 41. We're already a quarter of the way through, so he's going to be missing out on a lot of score, especially with his accuracy being down at 95% as well. He's going to surrender an early lead over to Australia, still holding on to that 4-way.
Not the lead that you want to give if you're rooting for Germany here, but still, 3 FCs versus 4, this might still be anyone's game, especially if Australia misses. At least one of those players find a miss, but so far, so good for these teams. The combos continue to holding. A build-up is evident here. The more patterns coming in, a lot more intensity is also evident here, but nonetheless, Australia continues to hold on to build that score gap, to make the bridge as long as possible. But Kloppet will be the one breaking the silence, finds a miss, but Flay and Tim Kakner as well. This is going to hurt Germany a lot more. 3 FCs versus 2, Kriller and Akinamo to fight off against Emrek, Akins, and a Secret Box. This is not looking good so far, especially with half of the map already being done.
Yeah, this map holding on so many FCs. Okinamo finding the break, looking really, really bad for Germany now. Catastrophe actually has struck them now. 3 FCs still alive for Australia. Only a quarter of the map to go as we get into the speed up section. This is where the map really starts to bear its fangs. Ramping up. Emrek doesn't drop. What was I looking at? Kloppet. Akins and Secret Box do go down though. So it's just Emrek and Kriller, but the lead already 350k. And that's going to be basically a guaranteed win for them on this one.
Exactly, Amrek and a Secret Box. This duo from Australia doing so much work map after map. The main two players of that Australian roster, of that Australian core, Kriller, to try and contest. He was the clear hero on a Fremont 4, but this time, what can he do alone against these two players? And by the looks of it, as the map slows down, as the storm settles, one final section here to finish it off, but ultimately Kriller's combo will not matter, especially as he finds a miss, and Amrek in the Secret Box looking to secure this map with a double FC.
Yeah, the break point for Australia now. Germany losing out on their second pick as Amrek and Box come to life.
That is a really good performance here from Amrek and a Secret Box, especially considering that a Secret Box played this with Hidden too. Kriller also being oh so close, but ultimately it was not enough. The ultimate score from both Amrek and a Secret Box was more than enough to flip the equilibrium towards the side of Australia. And Australia, they did so good, and that's a break point here too. A good momentum shift for the Australian side, as well as they now can take this into try and consolidate the break point for themselves. And a Hidden Freeze being picked almost immediately. A map that I thought would be picked by Germany, but Australia are looking to go for that hidden comfort that Germany in comparison probably does not really have.
Yeah, I mean, I think Australia is just a little bit deeper on this type of skill set. This map, it's really difficult. I think one of the hardest in the pool. 170 BPM cut streams, CS 2.6 on Hidden, with also some just generally insane difficulty spikes. The ending on this one, the back and forth with that full screen triangle pattern as the last pattern of the map, just really, really difficult. I don't think we saw a score above 500k on this in the previous match. Top score on that one was, I think, Zudi up at around 470k. But yeah, Australia looked really good on that last map, and I think you're kind of playing off of some of the skill sets in that map in this one as well, especially with the some of the fast cuts. But no one in the lobby yet.
No one in the lobby yet, but I would imagine you'd need a lot of practice for this map, and you need to be in the zone for this, because this map, as you've said, is really, really difficult, especially with the ending. And also on top of that, you might want to get accustomed to the CS, one of the lower CS maps in general. Local Hero, the mapper of this, is relatively known for mapping a really good low CS map, CS 2.6 here in for example. But if I recall correctly, he also maps a lot of CS1 and CS2 maps as well, so this is probably going to be a really fascinating map for a lot of players here, especially given the aim control element and also it being one of the hardest maps in the pool in general. So with the players slowly joining into the lobby, I feel like this might be a really close map potentially. You look at players once again like Kriller or Amrek or a Secret Box, but if anybody finds a score of more than 500,000, this is already going to be a crazy score from their side.
I think the scoreline on this is just going to be close by nature. When maps are on the harder end, when the scores are lower, the gap is going to be lower. So for viewing purposes, any score lead, multiply it by like 1.5 in your head, because that's how difficult it's going to be to bring it back, especially in the second half. Once the back and forth start coming in, just like close it. Like if you're holding a combo through that, then you might be the best player in the game. But still, I think a skill set where you could see some unlikely heroes. In my mind, I'm looking down at Okinamo as he does full 100 the first stream. But I think he could potentially find a good run on this. But of course, gotta look at the super carries on this one, because this map is so damn difficult.
Yup, and a super carry potential here is so high as well. And who none other than Amrek, Box, and Kriller to show up, to show what they can do on a map of this caliber. But nonetheless, the intro stops here. A build-up comes in. So far, so good for both of these teams. But nonetheless, the recoveries, not the combos, are still holding on. And the accuracy is looking really good for Australian side so far. Slight accuracy advantage on their side. But trust me when I say that this map will pick up to the lengths unimaginable. But Yari's 8% Amrek find their misses so far. Still a favorable trade towards the side of Australia, but seeing Amrek missing this early is a little concerning for now.
Cyfrost to find another break, Akins as well. So it's Paler and Secret Box up against Okinamo and Kriller. Only a 50k score lead for Australia. If any of those big combos go down, it's just going to shoot the lead right on over to the other side. And there
Oh,
go
no.
Polar and Secret Box. Okinamo goes down as well, but who else other than Kriller to hold on for Germany as we get on into these aim control streams? So difficult, but still holding on. His aim control is second to almost none in this game, and he's going to take this score lead right back in favor of Germany.
Kriller doing wonders on Fremont 4. Can he do it here? The hardest map of the map still is here. Well, one of the hardest maps in general, but still he continues to hold on to the combos. 850 combo hits that pattern too. What is this man doing? He's been shining as bright as a star in a Fremont 4, and he looks like he's going to shine here as well. Basically making a difference once more. Emrek on the recovery to try and stop this beast once again. But Kriller, what can this man do on aim control? Basically everything. I say that as he finds a miss, but nonetheless, Australia finds a quad miss as well. Still a favorable streak towards Germany, but 60,000 difference. Kriller has done so much, but it's looking like Germany has a slight lead here as long as the players will not miss too much on this ending.
Yeah, and this ending, this is where the map starts to go just Bizarro mode. Like, these patterns are so difficult. If anyone can hold up a big combo, it's going to make such a difference. And right now, it's Paler and Box again as Zyfrost drops the biggest combo on Germany. Hold on, Object in Mirror are closer than they appear. But the back and forth are coming in. The chain misses are coming, but it swings back in favor of Australia. Hold on here a second. More chain misses come out from Germany, and now Australia 50k score lead. Emrek and Paler hit that pattern. Emrek and Paler, how did they hit that pattern?
How did they hit that pattern? Australia with a 4th point here on the board. Emrek and Polar, this ending is insanely demon, and the fact that they hit that, we might have thought that Kriller was the hero here, and yes, he did as much, holding the highest score in the lobby, but Emrek and Polar, that ending, the fact that they hit that is just astounding, mind-boggling. Continue to go on with the synonyms for that word, but Australia 4-1, such a good score from Emrek, Polar, and Kriller. But ultimately, this is still a lead for Australia. Consolidated breakpoints and an ability to continue the momentum.
They just came up right behind them. They snatched it right out of their bag. That point, I thought that was so surely going to be Germany's. I didn't see anyone in this lobby hitting that ending. But Emrek and Paler, man. Wow. That is breakpoint consolidated now. 4-1 lead for Australia. Germany now almost feel like it's do or die territory at this point. If you surrender another breakpoint over to Australia after that, I think it's wraps.
Yep, it's match point.
Really hard about this pick here. They've got to get it right now, and they still have, I think, some of their bread and butter picks remaining. We mentioned that Fremont 1 earlier, stream map. But also, I'm not saying they want to go back into the DT pool against this Australia roster, but you look at players like Emrek not really having, I think, an ideal matchup for their standards. You could start to maybe cheat into that DT pool if you want to.
Perhaps that DT2 looks pretty good for Germany here, but instead they go for an Osu original hard rock free Marmalade Butcher, open scar on ending a map by Revo, and basically if I were to describe this map, this is just insane flow control throughout the entire map, and also given how good Germany has been feeling on flow and aim control in general, I feel like this is a pretty good pick from Germany, but nonetheless, do not let this fool you because this map is insanely difficult.
Oh yeah, it's so difficult, and it's also O's Original. Have to shout that out. Shout out Marmalade Butcher. Made so many O's Originals this year. I think one for every World Cup. 5 actually in total that I think he's gonna release in a album next year. So be on the lookout for that if you're a big fan of Marmalade Butcher. But about the map in general, it's another one of these like just massive hybrid like mixed mechanics, tech, finger control, all of the above to some extent sort of maps where it's just really hard to like pigeonhole which skill set is going to be the major one on that. It's a team, or it's one where I think just a hard rock team is going to look good on this, but I really don't know what type of player is specifically good at this map.
Yeah, I also agree with you here. I think once again, it all comes back to Kriller for the German side. I feel like this favors them a little more in comparison to his teammates, but nonetheless, OpenScar and Ending had a really difficult map. Also, the mapping style on this one too, mapped by Revo, so a lot of uncomfortable and really interesting patterns, both when it comes to the slider shapes and in general when it comes to the ideas mixed in. A lot of sliders too, closer towards the ending of the map, where you have like those sort of like dry flower sliders that might catch a few players off guard, but it also adds so much to the song. But nonetheless, the players seem to be ready. The players are now in the lobby with good luck fonts in the chat. We are going to be transitioning into this Osu original OpenScar on Ending.
Yeah, very intense one here. Kloppet, Secret Box, Emmerich, and Akins in for Australia up against Tim Cactor, Denzel Curry, Zeitfrost, and Kriller here for Germany's third pick. Hopefully for them, this one goes a little bit better than their second one. Can't afford to drop another breakpoint here.
Do or die situation for Germany. If they lose this, Australia will be on the match point on their own pick, and their tournament lives will be just basically 1 point away. Actually, no, that's not going to be match point if they lose this, but nonetheless, still really, really close. But still, this Hard Rock Free starts off not a great start here for some of these players. Zeitfrost finds an early miss. The accuracy not looking good on their side to a Secret Box also with the misses, but nonetheless, Free FCs versus Free. Still, the combo and the score lead is in the German lead so far, but it can always switch the map. 3 minutes and 21 seconds long. Still a lot of sections, still a lot of hard sections in this map that can switch this up, but nonetheless, still some breathing room here for Germany.
Yeah, I think the combo on this map is especially important since the accuracies are going to suffer on this one. The unconventional patterning, the awkward rhythms. It's really difficult to hold a good accuracy on this, as we see Tim Cactor and Kloppet, a couple of the better accuracies in the lobby, actually finding the breaks now. One finding a break on the fast slider. Denzel Curry to be the one to hold the best accuracy throughout the beginning. 99.51 is actually really impressive so far on this. We get into the flow section. Kriller to find a drop for Germany. Really not the guy you want to see break. Zeitfrost still holding on. Kloppet finds another break. It's a slight combo lead for Australia. They're going to start to reel it in soon.
Timer is there. Kiai is now on the board, but still the combos are there. 2 FCs versus 1. Denzel Curry to try and stop Emmerich and Akins. Find the miss though. A Secret Box also. The recovery is gone. It's Denzel Curry to hold on. Kriller still holds on to the recovery. Zeitfrost also misses, but it's Emmerich versus Denzel Curry, but Denzel Curry finds a miss. Emmerich too. It's basically a combo reset with a slight combo advantage to the side of Germany. Kriller with the combo still. Kloppet finds a miss. 20,000 difference. It's once again on Kriller's shoulders to hold on and save his team from this onslaught.
Yeah, he's the only one to get through that section with any sort of major combo. 630, just joined by Tim Cactor at 350, and that's going to be enough to raise the lead a little bit, up to 70k, but there goes Tim Cactor, but it's matched by a couple breaks on Australia as well. Akins and Box going down. It's Emmerich and Kloppet to try and take this one back, and once again, all on the shoulders of Kriller. If he finds the break, Australia have the combos to bring this one back in the ending. So much pressure on this one player.
Captain off the ship needs to steer the ship so that will not crash. This Hard Rock Free still holds a lot of sections that he might miss on, but still, as long as Kriller holds, there is hope. 1000 combo is so close, but still, it goes on towards the left as Kloppet and Emmerich continue to hold to their combos. Denzel Curry finds a miss. Kriller is still with that combo, but you need more misses from the Australian side if you're rooting for Germany here. 50,000 difference. Tim Cactor finds a miss. A Secret Box as well, and with the final slider, it looks like Kriller has done enough. It's always him. It'll always be him. He was here for Fremont 4. He was there for Hidden Free, and looks like he is here as well for this Hard Rock Free to give Germany more breathing room in this match. Just what can this man do?
This score is actually incredible from Kriller. 700k on this, almost 98%. This map is so unconventional, so hard to hold good accuracy on. S rank on the entire bottom row, by the way, which is... What is that? It's really close map throughout. Australia, they needed the break from Kriller. It kind of felt like it was almost like the Hidden 3, but without the Kriller miss. And that's what happens when Kriller doesn't miss, able to clutch out points for Germany, and they needed that one. And now Australia, they're going to crack open the DT pool first. DT4 going to be the pick. Maritime Police, this map. One of the highest star rating maps in the pool. Don't look at the screen right now because that's the stats without DT. This is AR 10.5 and the star rating is 8.89. 198 BPM, a minute 58 seconds, OD 9.9. And this map, if you aren't like a DT alt specialist, this map is going to be really difficult for you.
Yeah, this map is really, really difficult, and to top it all off, I think it was also used in OWC before, but with no mod. It was OWC 2018 round of 16, no mod free, so this map just tells you how far the community has gone, how far the skill has arisen, because this map, obviously, you would not ever expect this in double time back in 2018 and 2019, but here it is in the finals pool out of all places, not even grand finals, so this is always fun to see, but still 4-2. The score lead is still on Australia's favor, but if they take this, then this might be still really dangerous for Germany.
Yeah, this map, it's really consistent. A lot of uptime on this. There's not really one difficulty spike in this, but remains consistent. Just like, I think there's two levels to it. There's the bridge sections, like what we're hearing in the song right now with lower spacing, and then the key eyes. It doesn't really spike much higher than that. But nonetheless, it's going to be a very difficult map where we're going to see who really practiced this map pool here. So we see Big Snag enter the lobby for the first time for Australia, a player who I think you see him on a lot of unconventional map leaderboards playing the DT only on this especially high AR sort of thing. So really curious to see if he's going to make the difference on this one for Australia.
It's snack time, and it's time for Maritime Police, a classic map made by Mir back in 2017-16. A really old map, well, sort of, if you take that into consideration. Not as old as some of those can be, but nonetheless, DT4 starts off, and with that, the players are now ready. Kriller, Aimbot, Cone, Denzel Curry, Tim Kakner on the side of Germany, Big Snack, Emrek, Kloppet, and Secret Box on the side of Australia. This is going to be one close off a map, but still start off here. A slight accuracy advantage to the side of Germany. The map is also very, very short, 2 minutes and 16 seconds long, so every single miss will matter very much. And Tim Kakner and Aimbot Cone find their respective misses here, as well as Big Snack and a Secret Box from the side of Australia. 2 FCs versus 2, as Kriller, Denzel Curry will be fighting off against Kloppet and Emrek.
Everyone managing to stabilize on this bridge section here, but Big Snag is going to find the drop along with an act drop. But here we go into the Ki. Spacing going to go up here. Kriller goes down. Aimbot Cone goes down. A lot of people are missing right now. Kloppet as well. Denzel Curry. Who's going to be the one to hold the combo through this? Right now, it is looking like Emrek and Box could make it through. Players you would expect on this type of awkward map, and they do get through the Ki section. Emrek and Secret Box, what are you doing?
It's the duo from hell. Emrek finds a miss, though, sadly in the middle of the map as well. The score gap will hurt them significantly as well. Secret Box 2 will not able to find the combo here, but Kriller still on the recovery. Null combos on the German side that are relatively high to try and come back into this map here, but still Emrek and the Secret Box, they did so much here for this team, and with a third off the map left and no combos, I feel like this might already be sealed here, Miles.
Yeah, it's just one of those situations where your opponents have found the breaks, but you need to hold on to your own combos. Kriller kind of has the spark there, but he needs the rest of the German roster to hold, and he needs to see more breaks from Australia. The DT score multiplier means that this score will go back faster than you'd think if the combos were there, but Kriller finding the break is not going to help them, even though a break does come in from Box. Looks like it's going to be Emrek and Kloppet to run this one into the ending for Australia's 5th point here.
Such an unfortunate miss from Emrek was there in the middle of the map, looking to secure the rest with an FC. Kloppet finds a miss in the slow section though, but it will not hurt them that much, as the final section here is on the board. 180,000 goes a little bit towards the right, but there is no time here for Germany to come back from this, and Emrek will be closing this out with a really high combo too. And with that, Australia takes the 5th point on the board.
Insane accuracy from Kriller on this, by the way. 98.72 is something else. Not able to hold enough combo to take the lead on this, unfortunately, but Cloppet and Emrek and Box holding really good scores on this one, all above 500k. Emrek nearly 700k. Just an easy map for him, only 8.89 stars. Not too high for him.
Yep, not too high for Emrek, but it's going to be Germany's turn to pick to try and come back into this. And now with those maps out of the way, what do you do if you are Germany? Not a lot of options here are left. You might want to go for mechanics, but this is still going to be really, really dangerous. You might want to go for that Fremont 1, the trump card that we've been talking about throughout this entire match. And I feel like if you want to play Fremont 1 now, then this is probably going to be the best time to play this.
I've been saying Fremont 1 so much, I don't actually know how good that is for them. It's one of those things where it's like, yes, it is like all in all a Germany skill set. Like we were saying before the match, like it feels like on those types of maps, like this matchup is just so bad for Germany because it's like you're this big mechanics team and then you just find the bigger fish in the sea in Australia in this matchup. It's just really hard to find a pick strategy through that. Like they would love to be picking this Fremont 1, this Nomad 2, this DT2 against just about every other team. But in this match in particular, you just have to second guess yourself a bit. But they are going to go for the Nomad 2. So finally, the high BPM stamina coming out from Germany. Live by the blade, die by the blade. You gotta pick this map at some point.
Basically, a new front line has been opened here. Throne of Misanthropy, mapped by Ravensong. This is going to be your stamina map, 237 BPM long. And this one is also, I mean, on paper, obviously, if this was any other team other than Australia, then this would have been a really, really good pick for Germany. But since both of these teams are two of the best mechanics teams in this entire tournament, maybe excluding the United States, then this will be really, and Poland obviously, but nonetheless, it still can be really, really difficult for both of these teams to try and take the point here, as the skill set just overlaps so much here.
You see Germany in chat, Tim Kackner, glad we have 7-speed player, and it's true. If you're a team like Germany, you've got a lot of options for your roster here, but Australia a little less specialized on their roster, but the guys they're going to bring out for a map like this are going to be some of the best in the world. You have to expect Emrek and Box to be so comfortable on this, and you probably bring in Cloppet. Again, that rookie has looked so lethal in the last couple matches, has been looking really good this match as well, so gonna be a really tough matchup here for Germany. As I've said last map, we're already in do or die territory for them on their own picks, and they have to take a break point as well. So it feels like winning this speed matchup is just the requirement for them to remain in this match, the requirement for them to remain in this tournament up against one of the best speed rosters.
Yeah, this map is so detrimental to Germany. If they lose this, then this might be, basically the game will be slipping away from their hands, but still, Throne of Misanthropy, 3 minutes and 56 seconds long. The streams are really fast, and also, on top of that, it also adds some elements of flow aim into that. The spacing does change a little bit with those XL, DCL streams coming in a few of those patterns, and with the BPM, this map is going to be really, really hard, but this is a do-or-die situation for Germany, a detrimental pick to try and survive against Australia. It potentially enemy territory here for this map, but this is where they need to pop off. This is where they need to wake up, and they need to show that they are a better mechanics team.
And they're not going to be able to rely on their Titan for this one. Kriller, not known for his stamina, going to be sitting out on this one. It's going to be Aimbot Cone, Yari, Fled, Okinamo. They go up against Cloppet, Box, Emrek, and Akins. Player I forgot to mention for Australia. Very strong on this type of stuff. In what I think is going to be an absolute slogfest on this one. These two teams are going to look so good on this map.
Exactly, but still, the combos are there. The accuracy does favor Australia a little bit. Cloppet struggling a little bit on the accuracy department, but nonetheless, Secret Box with an SS so far might add a little bit to that nerve element, but still the accuracy is on the side of Australia. On the other side for Germany, there's Aimbot Cone with the SS as well. Okinamo struggling a little bit with the accuracy too, but still Australia continue to hold on to that acc lead as no misses are evident so far.
Yeah, it just shows the comfort these two teams have on a map like this. You see some hundreds getting dropped by Akins and Okinamo, but still holding on to the combos. And there goes Okinamo, his stamina wavering a little bit, finding a miss-aim. And that's going to be big for Australia now, going to start to take this lead even further.
Now Okinamo, another miss here, 4-3. The combos are holding and it's building up significantly with those streams. The note density throughout this entire map is just very, very high. Okinamo unable to find the combo so far. This is a 3 versus 4. And Australia seems to be in the lead so far, with a third of the map gonna break to show the players what situation they are in, and Germany realizes that they are in a combo deficit so far. The map builds up again, more streams, it just never stops. Kloppet finds him as an opportunity for Germany. A window is open to breathe a little bit, but Abe Balcone sadly will be finding a miss here. It's 2 versus 3, Secret Box, Emrek and Akins holding on for Australia, while Yuri and Flay will be the ones to hold the FCs for Germany.
Yeah, just watching to see who the next miss will be with bated breath. It's so close, only 100k, but it is still 3 FCs to 2, and it's going to be Flay to find the drop. Now 3 FCs to 1. It's looking really dire for Germany as Yari drops as well, and it's looking like it's just gone. It's gone. There's 3 FCs on Australia. There's nothing you can do anymore. That lead is just exploding right now.
3 FCs, and they continue to hold as well. Akins finally finds a miss though. Finally someone calms the Australians down, but there is still so much damage being done. Emrek and a Secret Box, this duo that has been shining throughout this entire match. They've been shining on that DT4. They've been shining basically everywhere. This is the core roster of Australia doing so much work here. 400,000 difference and still growing with a quarter off the map left. Emrek and a Secret Box to hold the combos. 2,100, no combo from Germany to try and contest, especially since Flay does find the miss. Still a quarter, still the combos are there, and the question that is lingering on our mind, just how big that score difference will be by the end of this map.
Yeah, just all eyes on those two at this point. Twin Titans, Secret Box, and Emrek. Box does go down, but still Emrek, the 99%, still holding on to that FC through these winding, difficult streams. And it looks like their lead might even eclipse 1 million by the end of this one. Germany has fallen out, and Australia are going to bring themselves up to match point with a break point.
Yeah, and now you have to look at Emrek. Will the best player in the world close this map out with an FC of their own? The question lingers on our mind, and Emrek can definitely do this. No combos in Germany. This is not about the win on this map. This is about honor, and Emrek finishes this map with honor as well. An FC to their name, and Australia takes the match point here. A break point, a match point, and an FC from Emrek. This is Australia's time to shine.
And that's exactly what you want to see if you're Australia. Emrek getting hot when he needs to. Put up those scores to put Australia over the edge. But they still need to get one more point in this match. But luckily for them, they're going to be able to start this streak of match points with their own pick.
Yep, the head of Germany might as well be in the guillotine, on Australia will be the executioner to drop the head from their shoulders. A map to choose, and with this Nomad 2 loss that Germany had, suddenly a lot of options are opening up. You look at that DT2, that 320 BPM map, a really crazy speed map as well. You look at that DT1, a jump map with some elements of burst, but nonetheless, this is going to be a Nomad 4, another Osu original being picked right here. This one is going to be from Xengis, and a collab between 9ami and a lot of other mappers too. In Inorganic Dystopia, this is going to be your slider tech, but also on top of that, 220 BPM, so some mechanics are also present.
Yeah, it's like you can't get trolled by the BPM on this before you call it a mech tech map though, because this map, it really is focused on the slider aim throughout. There are bursts, but they aren't really as common. I'd say it's much more focused on the slider aim, but still, because of the BPM, it's going to end up in that category of the more mechanical side of tech, and that's something that Australia just looks so good on through the tournament. However, BPM not going to be high enough for Kriller to go without having a say, so we'll see if Germany can potentially make some magic happen with their last gasp.
Yep, they gotta do that, otherwise they will be eliminated from this tournament. Inorganic Dystopia might as well be their final map in this OWC, but they need to hold on. And hold on, I would imagine they want to for sure. They still have a lot of stays left in this match, still a lot of maps, still a lot of questions, still a lot of statements to make. And if they will be eliminated in this Nomad Forum, then this might be a little bit of a premature death here for Germany, but still Inorganic Dystopia and Osu Original to potentially end this match right here. But 3 minutes and 41 seconds long. This map in general is just really hard. A lot of skill sets, the main one being Slider Tech, but a lot of flow and circles being added here too. And to top it all off, the 220 BPM also exacerbates the situation even further. And I would just like to take a moment to glaze the mappers here. 9ami and the collab did such an amazing job here with this map. So much work has been put into this. The storyboard, the map itself. 9ami, I would imagine, is a really underrated mapper when it comes to skill sets. So W9ami in that regard.
I'll shout out the other mappers for you on the collab. It's
Yes.
Tiddy and Matsuyuki Ame. So, two also very accomplished mappers. And this map, it's just really cool. But before we see it played, we're going to need to see some players in the lobby. We've got a timeout coming out. So players are going to have time to go out of the lobby, get their practice in, make sure they're comfortable on this map. That will potentially close out the match.
Yep, the timeout here might help the situation for both of these teams. To be fair, Australia looking to end this match as early as possible, still holding on to that match point. Germany, on the other hand, this timeout potentially could be something that will be their saving grace here, but still, Inorganic Dystopia is waiting for them.
Yeah, this song, the song goes hard would be an understatement if you hear the point of the song we're at.
That's for sure. Just, you can kind of tell what the patterns are as well and how difficult it is. Xenjus, such a good composer as well. Also maps too, I think they have a ranked map as well, so shout out to Xenjus for this amazing work that they did for this Osu Original. But still, Germany, the players are slowly joining into the lobby. Kriller, Yari, and Zach Frost for the side of Germany, completing the puzzle with Denzel Curry, also known as Serbia Trucker 13. While on the other side, Kloppet will be the first one to join, as well as Secret Box, Emrek, and probably Akins will be the final piece to finish out this puzzle here.
Yeah, it's funny with the earlier editions of this original. When we heard the first draft, Xenjus wanted to make the song even louder than this. Like, the old ending of this was just like so loud. We had to get him to tone it down a little bit, but it still ended up being like just so cool, so loud. This type of style he's defined for himself. Really cool.
Yep. Definitely, and make sure to check out Xenjus on the feature artist page and to check out their tracks. But with that being said, Nomad 4 is starting off potentially the last map of this match, or could be the first brick that Germany lays in this potential comeback. Anything could happen, but ultimately, this is going to be Inorganic Dystopia, 3 minutes and 41 seconds long. That consistency element is also going to be tested. Basically, so much will be tested here. And to top it all off, this is one of the more hard maps in this entire pool, so gotta make sure to look at that. So far, the map is starting off relatively slow. Nothing to say here, but as the map picks up, the patterns will get more and more demon-like. Those SSs that you might be seeing right now will definitely drop, and the combos as well. The build-up is there, and finally we are coming in. We are starting the cream of this song. The build-up is there, the jumps are there, and the first PI is on the rise.
Kloppet to find an early break, and there's the first slider. Catching out only Yari, surprisingly, but I guess the players did practice before they learned how to hit that slider. You can already hear these kicks coming in. Long sliders are starting to come out. Catching out Box as well. Into the breach here. Big opportunity to lose your combo or your accuracy, but it looks like Germany's going to come out of this one slightly on the upper hand. but just balanced on a knife's edge. It does flip back in favor of Australia.
Exactly that. Still 2 FCs versus 2. Emrek and Akins versus Kriller and Denzel Curry. 1/3 of the map gone. A slight advantage to side of Australia. Slowly goes towards the right though with every single 100 here. But the combos are about even. Not anymore though as Kriller and Secret Box find the trade. But Kriller held an FC here and Australia suddenly takes the equilibrium to switch to their left side. The combos are there. And Akins, EX and Emrek still continue to hold on to their FCs. Kloppet also really good recovery on their end. It's just Denzel Curry with an FC on the German side, but so far this is looking so good for Australia. Zytefrost finds a miss. Secret Box found one earlier, but 100,000 difference. The second KI here on the board. This is so dangerous here for Germany.
Yeah, it's all on the back of Denzel Curry right now. It's virtually a 1v1. A 1v1 with the number 1 for Denzel Curry here up against Emrek. He's the only thing holding Germany back from pure destruction here on this map. And I can't imagine what's going through his mind right now looking at these scores during the break.
A lot of pressure on the side of Denzel Curry. Emrek also no recoveries on his end. This is a 1v1 Kriller. A slight recovery to help Denzel Curry to help the combo lead on Germany's side. But Emrek finds a miss on the slow section. The Secret Box as well. This is going to hurt them so much. Denzel Curry continues to hold to the combo. Never mind, there was a Banshee miss. Emrek still holds the combo. It was fake.
Oh
Emrek
God,
is still there. Denzel Curry is also there with an FC. This is still anyone's game, but Kriller also finds a miss. No recoveries. This is just a 1v1. Emrek versus Denzel Curry and a final PI to keep Germany's dreams alive.
You can hear the song start to build up. The lead does flip in favor of Germany, but Denzel Curry goes down. That's the FC gone. And now it's going to flip back in favor of Australia as long as Emrek holds. That combo just so powerful. You see the score updating itself. Bancho had to update.
Final PI is here. Emrek still with the combo. Zytefrost finds a miss. Ultimately will not matter. Emrek though sadly will be finding a miss here. Yari also the recovery was there, dropping every last second. Nobody's gonna hold on for this ending. Only Kloppet to hold on to have some semblance of the combo here. Emrek did so much for his team here to hold on for that combo for as long as he could. 770,000 score to his name and a victory in this match against Germany. Australia takes this matchup with a 7-2 score and advances further to face off against Canada.
And it's GG, well played. Germany bowing out at their seeding, getting the top 6, but falling at the hands of Australia, who will progress into the top 4 to face off against Canada. That match will be, I believe, tomorrow at 1 UTC. I'm going to check the schedule again to confirm that with you all.
Yes, but nonetheless, this was a really good match to cast. Yes, it is confirmed to be 1 UTC, right?
Yep, that's the match tomorrow.
All right, and I think with that, we gotta shout out the players. Sadly, Germany will be eliminated here. As much work as they did, as much as Kriller has shined on some of those maps, ultimately, this was not enough, but Australia will be the ones to advance further. This is going to be a farewell for Germany, but definitely not a farewell for Australia. Looking so good on all of these maps. And I think here, Miles, do you have any last closing words here from your side?
Just a little bit more analysis on this match. I think this was a great bounce back match for Australia after having such a poor match against the United States last week. I think they are going to look really good going into Canada tomorrow, but I just really look forward to that match. As for us, that is actually the last match of the day now, so we're going to have to wait until 1 UTC tomorrow for this next match. But until then, that's going to do it from us at Osu Live. I've been Miles with Lighten. Hope you all have a good rest of your day.
See you next time.
feel